Welcome to this Catholic bioethics moment. I'm Dr. Bridget Campion, and I'm speaking with Dr. Moira McQueen about the principle of double effect. Moira, for centuries, Catholic moral theologians have been using something called the principle of double effect to work through moral dilemmas. What is the principle of double effect?
What we're talking about here is when there is some action that will actually have two effects. One of them is good and one of them is evil. And the moral dilemma then is trying to decide whether or not the action can actually be performed morally anyway. And in a sense, is there a way we can contain the evil effect to be able to achieve the good that, of course, is the source of what we're trying to do, since we can never pursue evil, but we're always trying to pursue good. So it does become a very useful principle to use.
So these sound like very complex cases that you're describing, that even as people are trying to get some sort of good, they nevertheless have to contend with an evil accompanying it, a bad result accompanying it. So using the principle of double effect then, moral theologians work through this. So what are the components of the principle of double effect?
So there are four major parts to this, and every part has to be taken account of. You can't let one drop. And so otherwise there would be maybe an abuse of the principle. And as you say, it's been worked out over centuries, so it's very carefully honed. And so the first one is this, just as I said, you're never allowed to pursue evil. That would be unreasonable to be pursuing the actual evil effect. And the second condition is that your intention as the act is to actually achieve the good. That is what you're pursuing. And the third condition goes around the means that are used to achieve the end. And what is said there is that the good effect must not come through the evil effect. In other words, the evil effect must not be the first part of the actual action from which a good consequence flows. Because otherwise that would still mean that we're doing evil to achieve good. That doesn't fly by itself, and certainly not inside this particular context as well. And then the fourth part is called, there has to be a proportionate reason for doing it. Because as you said, in this situation, even although we're really trying to achieve the good, we know there is going to be, or most likely going to be, an evil effect as well. And for us to allow any kind of evil effect, or as some people say, permit the evil effect, the good must clearly outweigh any of the evil that may or may not occur. But you're foreseeing that there may be some evil. So when all four conditions are pulled together and we're sure that they can be followed, then we say we can use the principle of double effect.
So basically the principle is telling us a couple of things. From what you're saying, that the first condition, that we simply cannot be performing an evil act, means then that there are such things as intrinsically evil acts that cannot be justified.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
That is absolutely right. Yeah.
And then you're going on to say that intention is extremely important here. That one is really intending the good. That's the thing that a person is going after.
Right.
And then from the third condition, the idea that we cannot use evil to achieve good. There's a sense in which, for Catholics anyway, the ends don't justify the means.
That would be another way of saying it, exactly. Yeah.
And then it strikes me that when you're talking about proportion being involved in the fourth condition, there is a sense in which their judgment is required to ensure that the good is sufficiently strong enough, big enough, important enough to justify whatever evil is going along with it. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that our Catholic principles are based on reason. These are principles that are thought out with conditions. It's not some kind of airy-fairy excuse or quickly subjective view of saying, I think that's okay. It's very much on that sort of reasoning basis, and we're very careful with people, especially in some situations, to stress that idea that all these conditions must be met before you could actually say that even this amount of evil could be allowed to happen.
Thank you so much.